Baby Yoda.
Hello and welcome to my channel Set from Mars. My name is Mari, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I made this bag right here, inspired by one of my favorite characters, Baby Yoda. So I actually made this bag for a friend of mine. She told me she's obsessed and she really wanted a Baby Yoda bag, so this is the end result. So in this video I'm just going to show you the steps I went through to create this, and then at the end of the video I'm going to show you this fabric right here. It's actually a glow-in-the-dark glitter, so hopefully the camera caught it well and you can see how cool it is. But that's probably one of my favorite features about this. If you like Baby Yoda and you like DIY videos, then keep watching this video to see how we made this. Let's get started.
Alright, so this project started as a message on Instagram. My friend sent me a picture of Baby Yoda and asked me if I could turn that into a bag. I said yes, and then I went to town on working on the design. So this took me a couple tries. His face is a little bit tricky, but after I worked on it again and again and again, I finally got to a place that I liked, and I kind of gave him a cartoonish look and I gave him a smile. Most of the time he's pretty serious, but I think he looks really cute with a smile, so I went with that. And then I just went ahead and printed that out onto some paper. And then as you can see, I have my whole pattern here. I have the main design, and that's what I use to reference where each piece is going to go throughout this project. And then I have the rest of the pieces, and these all just get cut out, and that creates my actual pattern. So then I went ahead and just started cutting all the pieces out. I use a ruler and an X-Acto knife if the edges are really straight, and sometimes I use precision scissors like you see here when the pieces are really small, and this bag had some tiny pieces on it, but they were sewable. I wasn't sure. So I went ahead and cut everything out, and then that created the pattern. And then I got to do my favorite part and start working with all of these amazing fabrics that were glittery and hologram and just super cool to work with.
So I'm getting ready to cut out all the fabric pieces for this bag right here. So I have my pattern. This is the base that has my whole design on it. And then I have all my little pieces. I've kind of separated them already into different colors. So I have all these little guys right here. And then I have this giant pile of fabric. This is all my fabric options. So when I make a bag, I usually know a couple colors that I'm going to use. So I already know that I'm going to use this for his body because it's like the perfect color for it. And then I have all these different options for the other colors because when I order them online, I don't really know what they're going to look like in person. So I like to give myself a couple options so that when I cut them out, I can see what they look like next to each other. So I'm going to take all these little pieces and start playing around with these fabrics right here and cutting them out.
So then I just started tracing all of my pattern pieces onto the fabric, and then I started cutting everything out. Some of the pieces that I cut were really tiny. I wasn't actually sure that I was going to be able to sew them, but in the end they were doable. And while I'm cutting everything out, sometimes I mess around with different colors just to see what I think looks better and just kind of have fun with this process. And while I'm cutting everything out, I'm trying to be as precise as I possibly can so that I can stick to that original design that I created and have him looking just like the picture that I printed out. And I always make sure to have a little bit of help with me while I am working on my projects. Once everything was cut, it was time to start sewing, and I just started sewing on each piece in layers. And I made a little time lapse here where you can see each of those pieces getting added onto the fabric. And then I did a little test to see what that glow-in-the-dark fabric looks like while I was sewing this together, and it does look very cool. And then I just kept going until all the pieces got sewn on. After that was done, it was time to add the big gem eyes. I love putting big gem eyes on all of my bags. I just think that they're really fun. And I just hand sewed those on with a needle and thread and then tacked the back a few times to make sure they won't fall off. The last part of the design was just to add some studs to the little rim of his pod. So I just put some studs on there. I used an awl to help poke a hole through the fabric because it was really thick right there. And then I used some pliers to bend the prongs on the back of those tight so that they wouldn't fall off. Then I went ahead and added these two little tabs for my purse strap and then also my label onto the side. Next, it was time to start adding the zipper. So I just binder clipped that to the top and then added one lining piece. And then once those were clipped together, I just sewed them together with my sewing machine. Then I added on my back piece. I used some binder clips to hold it in place, and then added on my second lining piece. And then once I had those binder clipped, I just sewed those two pieces together. And this is what the bag looks like when you have the zipper in place and all sewn together. And so the next step is just to sew the bag actually all together. So I started by unzipping the zipper a little bit so I could turn it right side out. And then I binder clipped the front and back pieces together and sewed them together using an industrial sewing machine because I was sewing through some pretty thick layers of fabric. And then I trimmed the bottom corners so they weren't so bulky when I turn it right side out. Then it was time to start sewing the lining pieces together, so I just went ahead and binder clipped those together, and I left the whole bottom open so that I could turn it right side out. Once I had that sewn, it was time to turn the bag right side out, and I just do that by pulling everything through the bottom of that lining, and this part's really fun because then you get to see the bag really come to life. To finish it off, I just needed to close off that bottom of the lining, so I pressed that with an iron so it was nice and crisp, and then sewed it closed with my sewing machine. And then I just pushed the lining back into the bag. And then I added a top stitch around the top zipper to completely finish it. And there's what he looks like when he's totally done. I have a strap and a clutch strap to actually wear with this bag. And here are some of the final shots with all of the glitter and all of the hologram, the sparkly gem eyes. And then I tested out the glow. So I tried it with a black light, and you can see right here what it looks like in black light. And then with no light at all, you can still see the glow in the dark.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this project. I was really excited to make it, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I just love making things, and looking forward to doing more videos like this. So if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to see more videos, then subscribe to this channel. And thank you so much for watching.
Wow.
Oh my god, I love it.
Okay.
So excited.
That's
Thank you. Look at him. He's adorable. Thank you so much, Mari. I love it.
Hi. Hi.
So funny.
You're funny.